Digital transformation means different things to different people. It depends on what industry you are in. Um, Today we're talking about 4.0 internet, manufacturing 4.0. We're talking about internet, web 3.0, different generations. And it's all very confusing because in one industry, a first generation is a third generation in another industry. So I wanted to give you a quick overview on what exactly digital transformation means right across the globe, across different media and different industries. So if you look at it, each of these industries have moved forward in different ways, starting at the left. So if you're familiar with computers and technology, you know that there was the internet, and there's mobile, there's cloud, there's social media, and it's moving left to right in a particular way. Again, if you're from the film and entertainment industry, you would know about 70 and then there was 8 and then there's analog, there's satellite, there's cable. We're talking of OTT and YouTube and Facebook. So it's moved Netflix and Amazon, films, uh, movie theaters are now shut with the COVID-19 pandemic. How do I get films released? So that second layer, which you see, film, TV ads, user video, is a topic and a whole industry in itself. Then comes the third layer there, the voice and how that has evolved. There was television was a late introduced much later and has taken over. But before that, we had radio. We had some of us who are older would remember all our news coming from BBC and Voice of America. Ham radio is still used. That has evolved today also. It's still there with internet radio, and there is Spotify and SoundCloud. Alexa is a completely voice-based. Siri is a completely voice-based. Internet itself is moving audio. So the technology for audio and the advantage of audio is that you can do other things. You can drive a car and listen to the radio audio, so you can multitask. Whereas if your eyes are occupied with video and TV, you cannot do other things. So audio will stay and in a specific way become more ubiquitous. Telecom has evolved and it has been an integral part of all of this. So from old switched uh, telco systems, phone systems, it's moved forward in its own right to today mobile and much more. It's an integral part. We're talking about 5G, which is also essentially a telco telecommunications technology. And the Internet of Things. So essentially, we're going to use radio waves, and if you're going to use radio waves, it falls into the area of telecommunications. Anything wireless, which is easier than wired. If it's wired, we tend to think of it as being a video technology or an IT technology, and the moment it becomes wireless, we're talking telecommunications industry. So it's getting all the overlap is quite enormous. Security, safety, once upon a time was all physical. You kept your money in the banks, and if you broke the bank, uh, you made illegal money. If you managed to get funds from the company, from the bank, didn't pay it, it was white collar crime. To everything we had is in the physical world, which was starting to move towards online, digital. Today it has moved forward, where information, if it's wrong or false, if it's fake, probably everybody would agree, but still it is monetizable. People are making money out of that, and it is definitely affecting political and other um, uh, aspects of economies and business globally. So safety security has also evolved, and it has got to evolve further. Right now, it's not just about IT security and protecting. Basically, we're talking about protecting democracies and protecting fundamental human rights. So security, safety is moving uh, also at a pace and involving every other vertical and horizontal. Those who are familiar with IT would definitely recognize how they moved from client server applications to relational flat databases to NoSQL. It's moved on. Today we're talking machine language, machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence. So IT has moved forward. ERP has gone forward, and it's moving in its own way. And we'll talk about that separately. People behavior has also changed because of losing jobs, automation, jobs being outsourced, contract manufacturing. Automation is a key factor of that. AI is going to play a big role going forward. Jobs will be created, other jobs will be lost. So people behavior and with all of this is also affecting both. There's a push and pull with all these other industries and technologies. These three or six, we have seven layers of levels or seven layers here. are not limited. There are many other. If you look at healthcare, I could put another line out there as healthcare and say that how has healthcare evolved from today to non-invasive surgeries, from earlier when there was no anesthesia, right up to uh, non-anesthetic ways of treating people, up to now uh, laparoscopy and non-invasive diagnostics have also moved from earlier. All of it is digital, so there's a digital transformation happening everywhere. If you take the automotive industry, you have driverless cars and GPS and a whole. So every industry can be layered into this. But we are looking primarily at the technologies of digital technologies that have been involved. So if you talk of car or healthcare, they're still using some or all of these technologies. So that's why we're not get into individual industry-wise technologies. And there is a movement. That means first there is an equivalence happening. That means all of these have to become equivalent, that they are available on similar platforms, they're integrated. And the phone mobile has brought all of this. If you can see that the phone has 5G, it has voice, it has audio, it has social media, it has fake news, it has automation, it has AI. It's got everything starting to come together, which is the equivalence. It is bringing about an equivalence amongst all of these aspects. So the smartphone and its penetration is much higher than the. So it may evolve. It may be the next one might we might not need a phone. It could be your wearables. It could be just voice activated, where you tell a robotic action to be taken, and it will be taken in your home. Your ceiling fan might be, or your air conditioner might be able to hear you and act on some other aspects of your life or business. So that's the equivalence which is happening. Integration an integral part of all of this, and which then leads to the transformation of how you do business, who are your customers, who are your vendors, how do you source the components for your value addition, and how do you supply that to your customers, how do you collect money, how is business evolved. So digital transformation is a movement across all these platforms end to end. So think about this, and we have also all of these taxonomies and structures and how things should be integrated in a open system called GICA, which is a Genuine Interaction Communications Annual methodology and system. And we've implemented most of this within clextra, which is a cloud platform that allows you to do all of this and achieve digital transformation for enterprise.